What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliate and scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing, my favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. It is Tuesday, September 19, 2023, year of our Lord. And we had a great show last night. Shout out to Q, shout out to Logic, shout out to Carrie, shout out to everybody, B. Taylor, Quentin, everybody that was on the panel. You know me, my memory is short. I'm a C student. I don't always remember everything that's going on, but I absolutely appreciate all of you guys, also the chat members and the audience members for tuning in last night on the Anton Daniels channel. If you have not watched that stream, go ahead and restream it. It is available. Thank you guys for continuing to hold me down. Also, on top of that, I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. Also, on top of that, I also want to shout out everybody that just supports each other. Usually when I get in here, and it's funny because I usually get in here like 5 or 10 minutes, and I start to see the sentiment of the chat before we start live streaming. Usually when I get in, I see you guys saying good morning to each other. You speak to each other. You check on each other. Y'all got chat wives and chat husbands like we at work. Like people be having work husbands and work wives. So y'all got chat husbands. And I guess that's safe. I guess that's safe because we know that y'all don't even know where each other is. Y'all probably don't even know each other's real names. So shout out to all of the chat wives and the chat husbands over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. People holding each other down. The friends and family. Shout out to everybody that's a part of the Bag Chasers. If you're not a part of the Patreon, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I suggest you become a part of this crew, right? And this show is really going to be a reality check, right? Because I believe that the powers that be are literally holding you hostage. I'll get into that shortly. Shout out to all of my ladies out there working hard. Shout out to my fellas that's putting in that work. Shout out to the truck drivers. Shout out to the teachers. Shout out to the daycare workers. Shout out to the stay-at-home mothers. Shout out to everybody that do the thing that's in the best interest of the people that surround them and is doing it unselfishly. Now, I always say that you need to be selfish before you selfless, but shout out to everybody that's doing it unselfishly in order to support people that's dependent on you. Shout out to all of you guys. Before we get started today, let me get a general mental health check because this is going to be a deep show today. It's going to be a reality check today. I'm not even going to kid you because it's getting worse before it get better. Let me get a mental health check. One word in the chat to let me know what's happening with the people that's out here in the streets. Let me know what y'all thinking. What's your general sentiment? How do you feel? You know, do you feel encouraged? How do you see your future? Give me one word that kind of describes where you are mentally as far as how you see your future going and what your current state is. Let me get one word in the chat and let me know how y'all feel. I'm going to be reading super chat shortly and throughout the show. This chick is crazy. This chick is crazy. Pushing. Let me see. Focus, blessed, powerful, blessed, nervous, exhausted. Thanos. I don't know what Thanos means. I don't know what that means. Pessimistic, motivated, focused, growing, crappy, concerned, alive, motivated, dominant, determined. Let me see. Trucking, hungry, centered, bright, motivated, relaxed, motivated and focused. The devil is busy, though. The devil is out here working overtime right now. Determined, focused, worried, feeling wonderful, great, prosperous. Hello, Anton and every. What up, though? What up, Vanessa? What up, Marcus? Work big, trying to maintain faith, happy, blessed. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Mental planning, determined, improved, overwhelmed, rebuilding. Shout out to Carrie, my girl. Listen, Carrie be cooking up. She was talking her talk last night. Money hungry, terrific, okay, inspired. What up, Cassandra, Oliver, Dolliver? Maintaining, grateful. What up, Randy, Vanessa? Rejuvenated, ready, encouraged, middle of the road, thankful, maintaining, blessed. Shout out to Rashawn. Thanos snap, spectacular, phenomenal, grinding in spite of, expectant, grateful, optimistic, vigilant, relaxed, thankful, excited, full, amazing, bleak. Anton got that clean head. Make sure y'all get that Teej Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. You know, I use Teej for my head too. If you know, you know. What is this? If you know, you know. Get that Teej Hanley, 30% off your first order plus. Hey, can you give me a small rag so I can wipe my glasses lenses? You was over there playing with my glasses earlier. Don't worry about it. Go ahead and take care of that. Confused, enlightened, retired, outstanding, like a days ago, thriving, ready to take on the world, second job, but more money now, blessed, optimistic. What up, bro? Devil stays busy. What up, dynamic mentality? Ready for rebuilding and inspired, on the clock, rebranding, determined, slick, hungry for the money. I love it. Good morning and hopeful, eyes tied, boss. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the show. Again, make sure that y'all get that Teej Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Also, on top of that, make sure that you tap into the Patreon, because if you're not a part of the crew, listen, don't come here asking me to fund your business. Don't send me no emails asking me to fund your business. I have the Fund Your Business live stream coming in late November in order for you guys to be able to get the finances and the resources in order to get your business off the ground. I'm allocating a lot of money, literally tens of thousands of dollars. I don't even know what the budget is yet. I'm thinking that it was going to be 20,000, maybe 30,000, maybe 40,000 for me to allocate for you guys to donate to you and give you that grant money in order to get your business started. If you're not a part of the Patreon, then don't sit here coming to me asking about it, because I can't do nothing for you. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right, let's go ahead and get into the show. Yeah, that Dougie Fresh. You got it. Let me go ahead and read a couple of super chats. First of all, shout out to Mike That Dude. I appreciate you for continuing to hold me down. Shout out to my dog, Mike That Dude. Also, on top of that, let me shout out Nappy Ted. Nappy Ted said, appreciate all of the game you give, brother. They don't appreciate it, but you do. Shout out to the Nappy Ted. I appreciate you, Nappy Ted. Thank you, my friend, for the fireball. P. Shank is in the building. P. Shank says, good morning, Anton and Q. The show last night was lit, was funny, entertaining, and serious. Q voiceover took me out. I think you tapped into a unique panel. I love the show. I think that the show is awesome too. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Cassandra Powell is in the building, says, very good show last night and good topics. Thank you, Cassandra, and thank you for tuning in and holding us down. Cliff Williams is in the building, says, Wagwan, bro, I'm in Seattle with the fam. We avoiding all of them spots you've been talking about. Seen some of them tents. It's a nice city, though. Shout out to you. Cliff is in the building. I appreciate you for tapping in. Thank you to everybody that sends super chats. I don't advocate for it. I don't ask for it, but I appreciate you as a result of it. So I'm going to acknowledge everybody that sent a super chat. But we got some work to do. So before we get into the show, all right, I've been warning you guys for a long time now that of what was coming. I've been warning you. There's nobody that's been more of an advocate for you to make the adjustment based on the concerns that I've been expressing for a long time. When everybody was getting distracted with, Roe v. Wade and reparations and race wars, character wars, all of this stuff that's been bubbling up to the top for a long time. I was warning you. I was warning you years ago. I warned you the year before last. I warned you last year, and I warned you this year. And I've been beating this with a dead horse for a long time. Shout out to J Ben. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. I've been warning you, and I told you that it is not a race war. It is not culture inspired. It is a class war. And the reason why a lot of you people, let's just be honest. I'm going to use Q's words. Let's just be honest. The reason why a lot of you people are now tuning into me and you coming back into the fold, even though you say that you didn't like me when you first met me, is because you know that I'm right. And see, the thing about being right is it's not about rubbing it in people's faces. It's about understanding what you're dealing with. All of these people that's been race hustling you for all of this time, all of these people that's been relationship hustling you for all of this time, I hope you feel scammed. And I'm not saying scammed in the sense that they gave you something or they sold you a bad product or you sent them some money and they didn't necessarily deliver on what it is that they said. I'm not talking about that type of scam. I'm talking about the wool continuously being pulled over your eyes and that you think that or you thought that before you started sticking around long enough. And see, the thing about being right, because I don't even like being right, because a lot of the times that I'm right about, it's right about the wrong things that's then going to happen to you. And as a result of it, you got to recover from it, right? And see, the thing about this is that it's all a distraction to keep you busy. Deep dive with me for a second, and we're going to really get into the show because this is a very, very, very important show. Of all of the shows that I've done this year, this is probably going to be the most insightful. It's probably going to be the most important one that you've seen this year so far. Okay? I think this is episode 180 of season 3, right? And so here's the thing. All of these problems that you see happening in society today, migrant crisis, inflation, presidents, crime. Chicago has recently enacted and is now implementing the no cash bail system, which is also part of something that I warned you about and I covered earlier in this year called the Safe T Act. We gonna cover it. We gonna go over it, right? They dropping off migrants over in Arizona. All of these problems are manufactured problems. This is something probably I shouldn't be talking about because this is the thing that's going to make you upset. But the reality is that I didn't create the problem. I'm just bringing visibility to it so that you can then capitalize from it because it's only going to be one of two options. You can't be in the middle of these manufactured problems. And the reason that they manufactured is because it allows for you to still stay distracted. And so if they can create a problem for you, they then create the idea behind the fact that they're the only ones that can solve it, which is the thing that then keeps people in power. Think about it on a job, right? Think about somebody that's thinking that their job is going to be lost or they're going to be outsourced or they're going to be outdated or they're going to be removed or the company is going to be able to do without them. The thing that they try to sell the company is that you need me. And so in order for them to be needed, a lot of times they create the problems that they then have to solve, or they don't go full throttle in solving a problem because they don't want the company to realize that they're really just not that needed in the organization. Most designers, most web developers, most software engineers, most cybersecurity professionals, I hate to break it to you, but they only do about 1 or 2 hours of work a day. Why do you think that they have 3 and 4 jobs and they making like close to $1 million as a result of it? What they're hoping and what people in society is doing. When I was on the plant floor and they told me to slow down because you're going to then make all of us have to do the rate. What they were trying to do was throttle the company and then prevent them from realizing that, hey, you really don't need us. You can do more with less. And so you can be way more profitable. And we need to mask this thing by saying that we need to focus on the people. instead of focus on the profits of the company. And so we manufacture these problems, and it's the same thing with politics. It's the same thing with the migrant crisis. It's the same thing that the people keep selling you in order to continue to stay in office. I've seen it in my lifetime multiple different times with different presidents. They create a problem in order to make sure that they get in for a second term, and then they continue to do the same thing and make it exponentially worse for the person that comes after them. And so what you see is people keep going back and forth, and then you'll vote Republican, and then you'll go to Obama, Democrat. You'll go to Clinton, to Bush, to Obama, to Trump. Think about it. Why do we keep flip-flopping? Because the same problems keep being manufactured by a different organization or a different party that then plays on your emotions, that allows you to be distracted from the real problem. And the real problem is this, and it's always been the same problem. This is a class war. It is not a race war. It is not a culture war. Now, they may leverage your culture in order to keep you subdued and distracted from the thing that's really happening. But this is how you know it's really a class war. And this is how you know that things is really, really messed up, despite the numbers, the unemployment numbers. It's a white lie. Despite housing crisis, it's a white lie. Despite the lack of reparations, white lie. Debt, white lie. Housing issues, homelessness, white lie. This is how you know it's really bad. All of the indicators is pushing people to a state to where it creates unrest. Now, rappers can't even walk around with their chains on and showing the money phone because people are no longer inspired by it. They're no longer cool with it. They don't like to see it anymore. And when you floss now, they say that you're disconnected. See, it's no longer inspiration anymore. They're not doing it for inspirational purposes. Now, when you see somebody getting some money, it pisses you off. And when you create a level of dissension to where people start being or feeling like you're so disconnected, or they don't think that you got a finger on the pulse, or that you can relate to the regular people, or that this is what they really saying to you, it's no longer attainable for me. See, the difference in the way that they keep you inspired while also keeping you distracted. Listen to me. The way that rich people keep you inspired and distracted, it's a powerful combination. The way that rich people keep you inspired and distracted at the same time is that they have to make you believe that it's possibility for you to then get to where they're at, while at the same time removing the ability for you to get there by keeping you distracted by your own self-ignorance. It's always a way. If they were able to do it, you are able to do it. And so they have to keep you inspired enough to not dislike them. They don't really want you to get in the door, because it then makes them more of an average person, and they have to be above you. They have to separate themselves. They got to be better than you. They don't really want you to get there, but they don't want you to be disgusted with them. And so they have to give you some level of inspiration and hope. Listen, when these rappers, the Meek Mills and all of these people, when they say, yeah, man, I got the money phone, I'm on a jet and all of this is for motivational purposes only. This ain't the stunt on y'all. It's a lie. It's the biggest lie that they ever sold you. Listen, they don't want you to get rich. When I was sitting there listening to the Puffy live stream on Earn Your Leisure, shout out to them boys on Earn Your Leisure, and he said, man, I want all of us to be billionaires. You don't really believe that, do you? Do you really believe that Puff want all of y'all, all 13.6% of whatever 340 million people are inside of the United States, all sitting on a boat inside of the ocean with a yacht just as big as his? You don't really believe that, do you? It's a sales tactic. It's the same tactic that politicians use, and it's the same thing that rich people have to use, because now they're starting to experience a level of discomfort amongst the people to where they don't want to see you win no more. See, people want to see you win as long as they believe that they can go along with you. But when they don't believe that they can go along with you, then it becomes a war. Because then you're so disconnected that it's not even cool for you to even be doing that anymore. Why are you sitting there giving us any kind of insight on how it is that we can donate when you a billionaire? Give your own money. Why are you sitting there talking about what it is that we supposed to take a pay cut for, or why we shouldn't have 36 or 40% raises on the UAW? You made 30 million last year. When people start to compare themselves against you, It's a level of unrest and discomfort that now they have to figure out, because that's the thing that then creates the war, because people are starting to wake up and they're using their jealousy in order to express that emotion. And it's not necessarily the thing that's going to solve for the problem, but then it creates a problem or unrest from the people that's actually at the top. And so when people start to wake up, and when you start to educate them and you start to give them more insight and understanding, and they realize that it's a class war, it's only going to create one or two problems. Either they're going to be inspired to do more, or they're going to create an unrest, a situation where there's unrest, and they're going to want to come after you. Even if it does not benefit them, they will take from you. It's like the dude, listen, it's been happening in the hood every single day. And a lot of y'all are not connecting. Y'all not really understanding. You're not really getting the message, but I'm going to bring it back around for you. Let me give you an example, a C student's example, right? If a dude in the hood, and this is on a microscopic level compared to what it is that's happening in society, it's now that the rest of society is now starting to understand it. Let's say you the dude in the hood that come up. Let's say you come up, you become successful, you make it out the projects, and you start to ride these big cars and the flashy cars or whatever, right? At first, when you first start to win, you drive down the streets and the kids is going to say, ooh, that's my car, that's my car, that's my car. But if you drive down the street long enough and ain't nobody else starting to get no money along with you, they going to stop looking at it as inspiration and they going to start looking at you as food. And that's why everybody that make it that came from the hood can't still live in the hood, because it turns from inspiration to jealousy, to dissension, to anger, to I'm going to take your stuff and you to come up. And even though I'm not going to necessarily maintain it, and the value of your life is significantly more than what it is that I robbed you for and took your life for, I don't care, because you should not have that amount and it should not be that wide of a gap. And they always using these terms, the wealth gap. The gap between the rich and the poor. 1% of the population owns 90% of the real estate. They're starting to use these terms in order to then distract you from the real issue. It's been a class war since the beginning of time. It's the haves and the have-nots. It's the reason why they keep raising taxes. What they don't realize and what you don't realize is that you're still being distracted, because the middle class is the ones that's going to pay for all of the taxes that's being raised. So now everything is out of reach. Homes, out of reach. Cars, out of reach. Education, out of reach. Travel, out of reach. And the only reason that you're still inspired and you still running on this hamster wheel is because you have the credit. They distracted you with credit and the gamification to think that you still can get there in order to distract you from the fact that you're going to die broke. You're going to die broke, because you still not getting it, and you still not understanding, and you still not paying attention to what's going on. You're not paying attention. You're not seeing it. You're not catching it. The thing that you have to do is divest yourself from the mentality that comes behind or comes with what it is that they're selling you. They're selling you poverty through inspiration. The UAW members are so disillusioned. And this is the thing that is really confusing me, because y'all will say, well, I can't believe you ain't on the side of the worker. No, I'm on the side of the idea that you shouldn't become interdependent on any company or the UAW in order to make sure that you're going to become successful and feed your family, because you're being distracted by the idea of a higher wage and you're still not going to be able to afford a house. You still not going to be able to put your kids through college. You still not going to be able to get the health care that your woman and your child need in order to solve for that cancer problem. You still not going to be able to do nothing. It's the thing that keeps you on a hamster wheel. It's a distraction. You're not paying attention to it, because the thing that you should be doing, which is the thing that I went off on old boy on in the first place. I said, listen, you're so immersed. Think about what the conversation was on Friday. I said, you are so immersed and so emotionally invested in making sure that y'all get a raise with the UAW that you're completely distracted from the fact that you should have never been in the plant for as long as you were in there in the first place. You was never supposed to be there for 30 years. You got handcuffed to it. And they not even golden handcuffs. They not platinum. They not gold. They not silver. They not even copper. You got on aluminum handcuffs, and it's the thing that keeps you just over broke. That's what job stands for to people like me. It's just over broke. You got just enough for you to not get too upset with the fact that you never gonna get out of that place ever in your life. because it's enough to keep you subdued from the thing that you're really supposed to do, because you don't really understand and you're not paying attention to the thing that you're supposed to be doing. It's a class war. And as long as I can keep as many of you as possible, as long as these politicians, as long as these hope dealers, as long as these Hotep and blackety blacks, man, don't you know that the black man hustle has been around for decades, since the civil rights movement? Don't you know they've been selling you black power and make sure that you invest in your community? And man, the majority of y'all not even 100% black. You're not even 5% black. As long as you got 10% of your black, what do you think that is? That's the hustle. That's the thing that keeps you distracted. And so they keep one of those dudes around and they keep them continuing to ask for the cash apps, because they know that as long as you paying attention to that, you're not going to do the thing that's in your best interest, because you believe through them that there's some level of freedom or hope, when in reality there is none. The only hope that you have is to save yourself. It's over. The class war has been in existence for a long time. I've been beating it into your head. You just now realizing that you on a hamster wheel, and you didn't realize that you wasn't moving anywhere, and then you just going in a circle. That's why you keep voting the way that you do. That's why you keep subscribing to the people that you subscribe to. That's why you keep living in this mythical world in your head in which somebody is going to come to save you. Nobody is coming to save you. I can give you the tools that you need in order to be successful, but I can't sell you a course. This is just me personally, and this is no knock against people that sell courses. Listen, there's some good courses, there's some bad courses. I don't know. I've never bought a course. I've never sold a course. I don't have anything to sell you. What I'm trying to tell you is that I can give you the blueprint, but I can't make you walk through the door. I can't open your mind. I can't help you unlearn the BS that you've been exposed to when you continue to subject yourself. This is not a popular conversation. This is not a popular. You know what the more popular conversation for me to be having with you right now is? Jeezy and Jenny Ma. Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert. That is the more popular conversation. This is not a popular conversation, the truth, the reality. It's not the thing that you want to hear. It's not the thing that really resonated, but it's the thing that you need. It's the thing that you need. I promise to God, it's the thing that you need. There has been no realer person that is going to come on this internet and tell you the truth about what it is that you're facing. We could sit here and we could talk about all of the most popular things that you want. At the end of the day, it's a distraction from the thing that you're really supposed to be doing that's in your best interest. Not even you, the best interest of your kids. Don't you know that cost has been continuously going up since the beginning of time? Don't you know that the cost of education and student loans is not going to go down, that they're not going to stop offering student loans? Didn't you know, and I told you from the beginning, that they was not going to forgive all of these student loans? What, you thought that was the thing that was going to save you? You didn't know that the fact that he's saying, well, I'm still working on student loans. Listen, they let enough of y'all through the door in order to keep you holding on to the hope so that you can prevent yourself from doing the thing that's really best for you, which was not to be in student loans in the first place. Don't you know that they left enough people? They forgave enough people through other programs just so they can keep you on the hook and have you vote in a certain type of way, knowing that the student loans was never going to be forgiven in the first place, and y'all sat here and y'all argued me down, and you voted a certain type of way, and you thought that they was really going to save you from yourself. When have they ever done that? At what point have the federal government ever came through and saved you from yourself? At what point in history? You really thought that they was going to do something for you. You thought that they had your back. You thought that they was going to give you a leg up. You thought that whole speech about, oh, no, you can't tie your bootstraps by yourself, that was going to do something for you because they was going to come through and Bernie Sanders feel the burn and Elizabeth Warren. Oh, my God. Meanwhile, they rich as all get out. They got their net worth through the roof. All of them. Every single member of Congress is millionaires. They husbands millionaires, they kids is millionaires. It's a power grab. How does a public servant become a millionaire? By dealing you hope. I hope I don't get in trouble for telling y'all this. I hope I don't get in trouble for telling y'all this. I really do. Because honestly, I've been going down a pathway where I'm just like, man, I better just stop and just deal with the surface level. Everybody keeps telling me, man, Anton, why you don't go deeper on your show? Why you don't address this? Why you don't address that? Because I'm not trying to suffer for you when you don't really even care about yourself. Why would I put myself under the guillotine and prevent myself from getting my 30 million when you don't even care about yourself? Every single one of these public servants are millionaires, and some of them are even billionaires. Listen, why would a millionaire continue to fight so hard to stay in public office and work for a salary that's not even commensurate of what their net worth is? Come on, you ain't putting two to two together? Why would people that have been in office for the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years stay in office? Why are they so much more educated to you that they can make the better financial decisions to make the sacrifices in order to eventually become a millionaire, even though I got a public servant salary? How is that possible? How is that possible? And you going for the okie doke. You just went right on around the ring of them all when you just went for the okie doke. Y'all so busy fighting each other that you're not even really paying attention to how you getting finessed. A person like AOC, and then I'm going to get into the show. A person like AOC is going to be in office for their entire lives. They're going to be in office for their entire existence. Entire existence, for their entire life. Think about that for a second. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I'm only going to leave it right there. Shout out to my dog, J-Ben. J-Ben says, last night was a movie. 2 X's in a truck is insane. Shout out to J-Ben. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you for holding me down. MC is in the building, says, problem, reaction, solution, order out of chaos. Thank you, my friend, for the 2-ball. I appreciate you. Big Sug says, thank Anton for keeping it real and guiding us through all of this nonsense we face daily. Keep running up those numbers. We are right behind you. Bag Chasers in the building. See you in November. Shout out to my people that's going to be meeting me in November in D.C., the capital. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate you. Oh, let me give you the 10-ball. The 10-ball sounds. Dana Star says, Anton, why should any company let their workers unionize? I don't see the benefit to the company. I'm a deep dive into that. Give me a second. Marcus Allen says, play Cash Board Game by Robert Kiyosaki. If y'all have not read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, then you're not even trying. You're not even trying. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get started. Y'all ready to get rocking? Because I see the likes is anemic. But I'm going to just cook anyway, because I ain't got time to be sitting here begging y'all for likes. All I got is an opportunity to continue to run the numbers up, all right? Let's get started. Let's start with Tyler Perry, all right? Tyler Perry. Shout out to Medea. You know, the best movie that I've ever seen from Tyler Perry was the one that was the biggest reality check for women, and it's the one that's the least talked about. You know what it was called? It was called Temptation. What I realize is that Tyler Perry is really red pill, but he just selling y'all blue pill. That's my opinion anyway. Tyler Perry is really red pill, but he's selling you blue pill. Or he's selling the ladies blue pill. Well, how is that possible? The movies that's the most insightful from Tyler, and if you really pay attention to it, he's leaving you clues. He's leaving behind clues as to how it is that you're supposed to move within your environment from a financial perspective and even in your relationships. He dropped that movie called Temptation. Now, a lot of us don't necessarily care for Tyler Perry because of whoever. However, I think that Tyler Perry is one of the most inspirational people on the face of this earth, considering where it is that he came from, what he's built, how many people he support. I'm going to be reading y'all super chat shortly. Thank y'all for holding me down. I think that Tyler Perry is one of the most inspirational people on the face of this earth. From a business perspective, business acumen, how he's going about doing things, I think that Tyler Perry is one of the GOATs, bar none. When it comes to relationships, he's starting to tap into that red pill movement. I think a lot of these dudes be listening to the content. I think they paying attention because Tyler Perry is now familiar and intimately aware of what's going on within society. And no sooner than he started giving you a little bit of truth. And this is the reason why they sell you hope. The reason why Tyler Perry then gives you a little bit of truth is because you can't handle the whole boat. You can't handle the whole load. You can't handle all of the truth. Tyler Perry then went online, and it's the clip that's going viral. And of all of the things that he said on this, he talked about inspiration, he talked about money, he talked about a lot of different things, but it was a small portion of this that truly upset black women. And no sooner that he said it was the minute that they started to try to turn against him and hold him accountable. Let's see. I'm gonna try to fast forward it to the space where he actually had the conversation. Because a lot of people is just putting the clip up, but they're not necessarily putting the context around it. I think it was around the 39 million mark. Let me go ahead and play that, and I'm going to show y'all what's happening.
Be able to figure out what that is.
Yes.
And that's not money because you listen, a lot of women, especially black women, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but I will.
Listen to what he's saying. I might get in trouble for saying this, but I will. He's already, listen, the context clues is there. Tyler Perry is already aware of who his audience is, what they want to hear, how they want to be treated, what they're going to react to, and how it is that he needs to communicate to them. He's already aware. He prefaced what he was going to say before he said it by saying that I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but I'm going to say it anyway. He already knew what the sentiment of black women was going to be before he communicated this openly, which is really interesting with the fact that he still went through with it, because I know he's a really smart guy and he's smart enough to understand his audience, because he even left a clue when he said it before he said it. He said, listen, I'm going to go ahead and say this, but I know I'm going to get in trouble for it, and I probably shouldn't be saying it, because he already understands the sentiment of a black woman. He already understands the sentiment of a black woman. Ain't that crazy? Listen to what he's about to say.
In our society right now, black women are making a lot more money for the most part than black men, right? There are a lot of black men who are successful, but for the most part, black women are making the money. So if you can find love, if that man works, at whatever job and is a good man and is good to you and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can, because his gift may not be your gift.
Exactly.
That is okay. That's not somebody who's beneath you.
Yeah.
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth.
Wait a minute. Tyler, you telling me that the thing that black women advocated for, women in general, but he prefaced it by saying black women in particular are making a lot more money, right? So you telling me, Tyler, that the man, word for word, what he said, here, let me replay it for you one more time because I don't want to misquote him.
Right? There are a lot of black men who are successful, but for the most part, black women are making the money. So if you can find love, if that man works, at whatever job and is a good man and is good to you and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can, because his gift may not be your gift.
Exactly.
That is okay. That's not somebody who's beneath you.
Yeah.
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth.
That's somebody that came to love you at your worth. That's not a person that's beneath you. That's a person that came to love you at your worth. So what he's basically saying from a C student's perspective is that love is supposed to be enough because it's the thing that will keep you through the things that really matter. But the reality is, and this is the other part that he didn't have a conversation about, is that women are hypergamous and the things that they're looking for has nothing to do with love, even though they'll mask it and they'll use love and put that at the forefront and say, listen, I love you, when in reality, what they really saying is, how much do you make and how much can you use of that to take care of me? See, love was supposed to be enough based off of the thing that we advocated for, right? Remember? All of y'all was marching. Remember that? Equal pay for equal work. Why are women's salary disproportionate to men's? Remember all of that? Equal votes. There's no such thing as a lesser vote. When I go to the poll, I want my vote to count the same way as yours. We should have equal rights. Women should be able to do what they want to do. Slut walk. Remember all of that. Love is supposed to be enough now that we are on the same level. But that's not what's being communicated now, because now that you have the power, you saying, because I heard it last night on a panel. I heard it. I heard people say on the panel, listen, if I'm in here taking care of you, I can go off and do bad by my damn self. Why do I need you? Well, wait a minute. If we equal, and then men don't necessarily look at the resources that the woman bring in order to determine whether or not he gonna rock with her, because the guy can go and pick a chick up from Taco Bell and that's gonna be enough. He could be picking up a chick through the drive-through and she the worker and he the person that's sitting in the Benz or the Maybach, and he'll be thinking to himself, hey, let me go ahead and get her number. So you telling me that men and women aren't truly equal, that we don't even look at each other the same way. You looking at us as a come up, but we looking at you for the love aspect of it. So things is really turned around. It's the other way around. Men is not necessarily looking at you for how much you bring into the household, but then at the same time, women are inherently always looking at you, even if they're the ones that make the majority of the money. And that thing upset women, and they turned on Tyler immediately. They didn't care how many Madea movies that he gave them. They don't care how many BET series that he gave them. They don't care how many Madea family reunions. They don't care what's the love got to. Well, that's Tina Turner. Why did I get married? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. They don't care how much you took care of the older women that was actors that never got no money and you made sure that they was taken care of for the rest of your life. They don't care about the fact that you built no studio in Atlanta. They don't care about Coming to America 2. They don't care about none of that. At the end of the day, if you don't tell a woman what she wants to hear, she will turn on you immediately. Immediately.
Right?
Yes.
And as long as he's secure in himself to know that, yep, she makes most of the money, all I can pay is the light bill. As long as she's comfortable enough to say, I'm going to cover the mortgage and all the other stuff, you've handled the light bill, baby, you can take me to dinner every now and then. That is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But that's so hard for a lot of people to take in, because that means, no, I need somebody to, who is, they need to make 5 times more, and I got to have, well, go on, keep your list, baby.
Yeah.
God bless you. Hope it happens. Go on, keep your list. But when you talk about just someone to love you and support you, I know people who whose men can't touch what they make. But when you see them together, that love, that support, that I got you, babe, it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
But you know where all of the interference starts to come in? Outside sources. Because it's her friends, and her friends are going to come to her and they're going to say, girl, you know he mooching off of you. Or I ain't never going to be in a situation where I'm taking care of no grown man. Or I can't believe that she married him. She should get a man that's on her level. A lot of times there are women that's willing to put themselves in that situation. However, it's the people that surround them. It's the mother, it's the sister, it's the aunties, it's her homegirls. It's the other women that actually would take that same guy, but will poison the well for her in order to mess up what she got going on. Poison the well for her for what it is that she got going on. The reality is this, and this is my take on it. I support Tyler 100% in this message. I support Tyler 100% in this message. The reality is this, though. We are in a new age. We are in a completely different environment. We are in uncharted territory. And women are starting to, listen, I give you that. I'm not even going to argue you. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, the numbers say that women make this and black women. No, listen, you a boss bee. You get into the bag. You selling your lashes. You ain't paying your taxes. All of your money come under the table. Cool. Get it. You gonna go ahead and get flown out. You got a bow on your new car that you gonna pick up from the dealership. You running it up. You got your bundles. You got all of this stuff, right? I'm with it. 100%. Now, I say that we need to rethink the dynamics of what we expect to a person to contribute inside of a relationship. I'm okay with a woman saying, yeah, I bring money and resources to the table. Cool. Run it up. Run it up. I have no problem with it whatsoever. As a person that is significantly well off as I am, if I'm single today, I want a woman that makes a significant amount of money, you have to be my equal when it comes to finances going forward. If I ever was to get divorced, or if I ever, God forbid, would be in a situation where I'm single, I want a woman that is equal my net worth in order to make sure that we are going in the same direction and we don't have no problems going forward. Then you ain't got to worry about no prenup, right? You ain't got to worry about a prenup. You ain't got to listen. Equal for me means we have to have the same net worth. We have to have the same credit score. We have to have the same assets that's generating revenue. Otherwise, what use do I have for you? There are no more housewives anymore. You ain't got to be traditional. We not requiring it for you. Listen, we don't even have to live together. Let's just come together when it's convenient and our schedules can align because we living in a completely different environment now. No longer are the rules still in play from yesteryear. We ain't got to worry about family court. We going to reconfigure what we think a relationship is supposed to be. And so going forward, and you're going to see this happen tomorrow night when I jump on my live stream. Whenever I get back from my show, I'm going to jump on a live stream and we going to go ahead and solve for this. I'm going to give you the 12-step blueprint. I'm going to give you the 12-step blueprint of what you should expect as a man and a woman going forward in a relationship in 2024. We're going to start. I'm going to give you some time. We got a little bit more time left in a year. I'm going to give you the blueprint of what you can expect and what you should be looking for based off of the new standards and the new criteria that's been set forth largely by women. I'm going to give you the new standards of what you should expect going forward, considering. And it's going to solve for 90% of your problems. I promise you. Listen, when I jump on my live stream tomorrow night, I'm going to solve for your relationship problems, and I've never met you before. But it's all going to be based off of a new criteria that now has to be installed and put in place based off of a new set of standards, and we're no longer going to go by the old guard. We're going to put in a whole new set of rules. I promise you it's going to be one of the most dynamic live streams that you've ever seen from me. Interesting. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats and then we're going to move on with the show. Shout out to Tyler Perry for holding us down and giving us that good insight and information. Shout out to my dog J Ben says, you cooking YouTube into a glitch. Is it glitching out here in these streets? I wouldn't expect for nothing less. Shout out to you. Fearless Podcast says, bought tickets for the night. My treat. If you want barbecue, not for the night. It's not for the night. It's for tomorrow night. Shout out to you. My treat, if you want barbecue or steak for dinner. If not, will you have some time before or after the event to chop it up? I got to see what my schedule look like. Shout out to you. I'll kick it with you, my friend. Looking forward to meeting you at the event. The link is in the description for y'all to be able to kick it with me for the meeting at the mines. P. Shank is in the building. Shout out to P. Shank. Said Biden increased the HUD budget $85 million for subsidized housing. Send me that insight. Oh my God. Hold on. Shout out to Rita Cameron. Shout out to Rita Cameron. I appreciate you, Rita. Shout out to Rita Cameron for running it up and dropping that 50 ball. She don't even say nothing. She just come and support the platform. See, this is a woman that I think that y'all should be looking for as far as being equally yoked. Yeah, shout out to you, Rita. Nasheed Waters says, fam, you cooking, got to give you some tuition. Thank you, my friend, for holding me down. I appreciate you. The White Bell is in the building, says, morning, Anton. I'm listening to my playlist while at the gym as usual. Also, I resent a message in the Patreon. I resent a message in the Patreon and your email that really needs some feedback on. Thanks in advance. God bless. Thank you, my friend. I'm going to be checking that out. Young Reckless is in the building, says, Anton, what are your thoughts on Galentine's Day? What the heck is Galentine's Day? Let's see. Galentine's Day. Galentine's Day celebrates women's friendship. Galentine's Day is typically marked as February 13th. And so I guess that's women that's basically going out with their female friends. Not familiar with it. I'm gonna have to do some research on it. Thank you for bringing it to my to the forefront of what's going on out here in these streets. Green Energy Gems is in the building. Says the bag is the only woman I see. Shout out to you. Carolina's DJ K Smooth is in the building. Says The Unseen Hand by A. Epperson, a must-read for all, especially the economically and mentally poor. Like you stated, Anton, subjugation is ancient and society is standing on a track, willing, waiting to get hit. Sad. And it's very, very sad. And it's unfortunate that even after I gave y'all that opening monologue, a lot of y'all are still going to stay asleep at the wheel, but they already know that. And it's one of the reasons why they're holding you down. Number one on a piece of paper, shout out to Miss Crow T. Shetty holding me down. I appreciate you, love. Thank you. Who's the master? Shownoff is in the building, says, I have a question, and I don't mean any disrespect by it. Do you think our women are more gullible than any other groups? It seems like if you tell them how much better they are than their men, they'll buy whatever they're selling. I don't think that they're more gullible. I think that Western women at large is largely all of the same. I don't even think that it's just black women. That's just the thing that we see the most. I think often at times what you'll see happening throughout society is if you bring any women from a different culture over to America and you allow them to get acclimated long enough, they're going to be the same way. White women is the same way as black women in a lot of instances. I'm telling you, listen, white women kick their men's butt way more than black women do. I promise you. It has nothing to do with them being gullible. It has everything to do with the fact that they don't have any real leadership in their households. And when you let women then raise up other women, they put into them what they think instead of what it is that's best for them or what they know. And that's why fatherless households is at the forefront of some of the most of the biggest problems that we have here in the United States of America. So I don't think that they're more gullible. I just don't think that they're in their purpose. Shout out to Philip Sadiq in the building. I appreciate you, my friend. Hey, I ain't kicked it with Philip Sadiq in a minute. Shout out to Philip Sadiq. I rock with you. Dynamic Mentality says when they forget all of the years of hard work and advocacy you done for them because of one comment they do not agree with, yeah, we call it convenient amnesia. You are absolutely right. Thank you, my friend, for the 20 ball. Jeremy H is in the building, says that comparison between the military and jail the other night was retarded. If you play it correct, you can use the army to make you a millionaire. They have no idea what they talking about, bro. You talking about on Fight Club. It's crazy how people start to conflate arguments and then they try to justify their argument with it. You never responded to my email. Oh my God, Brian Hudson. I have so many emails that I'm going through. I am prioritizing them. I'm responding to them as I go through them. I promise you I got your email, fam. You got to give me some time. You got to give me some time, big dog. Thank you for the 2 ball. I appreciate you. I'm going through the emails for real. And I look at every single email. Thank you, my friend. Listen, let's move over. I want to go into what's happening in society right now. A lot of you may not be familiar with it, but I'm definitely going to bring you up to speed on it. But first, let me bring Kamala Harris to the front of the congregation. I bet that you guys forgot, or maybe you never even paid attention to it because you was more concerned with the fact that a woman who doesn't even necessarily identify as black, but look like you, right? I've never seen Kamala Harris necessarily say that she was black, but it could just be me. I may have overlooked that particular video or that particular clip, but a lot of people wanted representation inside of the White House, whether you was a woman and you wanted representation as far as femininity in the White House, or you wanted somebody that had your hue or your color or your pigmentation in their skin inside of the White House standing next to Joe Biden. A lot of you advocated for Kamala to get into office. Cool. That's a part of the democratic process. That's what we go through. She was rightfully elected into office. And so that is our vice president. Salute to AKA Kamala Harris in office. But I bet you didn't know, or maybe you've forgotten after the election, because we tend to not really pay attention to what's going on after the election. I bet you forgot what her number one issue that she was supposed to be at the forefront of and solving for in the White House. Can anybody guess what Kamala Harris, I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to be able to guess what Kamala Harris's number one thing that she was supposed to be in charge of and solving for inside of the White House. Okay, I'm going to tell you. For all of you that got it wrong, some of you may have gotten it right, I'm going to tell you. The number one thing that Kamala Harris was supposed to be in charge of, borders, immigration, policy when it comes to migrants coming into the country, foreign relations with other countries to get to the root cause and the problems that's plaguing the United States on this very day, September 19th, 2023. You guys got it right. She was supposed to be in charge of immigration and the border. See, I have a long memory. And when I hear something and I see something, sometimes it doesn't resonate with me immediately, but it comes back to me depending on what it is that we're trying to solve for at that time. And so let's bring Kamala Harris back to the front of the congregation and let's revisit why Kamala chose to make the border crisis and problems with regard to immigration, illegal immigration, migrants, our border agents not having the resources and the technology while we're sending billions and billions and billions of dollars over to Ukraine and other countries. And Kamala Harris was flying back and forth, and she met with the president of Mexico, and she was over there in Ghana. She was advocating for the alphabet community. Shout out to Levi Apparel. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. And Kamala Harris was working. But was she working on the thing that she said that was at the forefront of what she was in charge of, which was the border? Don't worry about it. We're going to get into it. Let me bring you up to speed on what's going on in our nation. And then I want to help you to have a conversation about it, right? Because I don't want you to forget what the promises were and what people said when they got elected the first time.
There's always a conversation about what the U.S. is doing outside of our borders, but now it is obviously creeping in as well. This morning, U.S. Customs and Border Protection announcing it is temporarily suspending cargo processing at the Bridge of the Americas in El Paso, Texas, because you guessed it, that huge surge, that continuous influx of migrants crossing into the country illegally. That means truckers who usually make the crossing, they'll have to find other routes. Officials closed a pedestrian border crossing in California for the same reason. This problem has no solution in sight. Stephanie Haynes joining us live to break all of this down. Stephanie, clearly this is another sign of the strain that our border agents are facing now.
Adrian, good morning. That is exactly right. And look, CBP says that this is one of its contingency plans that it uses to fall back on to free up resources to help with migrant processings. In fact, it did something similar earlier this year, but now federal data shows that those migrant encounters are starting to tick back up again.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection is putting a pause on cargo processing at the Bridge of the Americas in El Paso, Texas. It's to free up border officers to help with the processing of the...
My eyes doth not deceive me. This is not artificial intelligence. This is not ChatGPT generating images and videos that's then pretending like people are not just really just walking across the border. People, listen. There is no fear. They don't even have to get coyotes anymore. Not the coyotes as far as the actual animals, but the people that help them to cross the border. They're not trying to hide no more. They're not tripping about it. I bet y'all didn't even know that Obama actually deported and did more when it came to immigration. And this is one of the things that I say that I have to be objective about, because even though I didn't like Obama and I think that he was one of the worst presidents in my lifetime in particular, one of the biggest things that Obama did was he deported, and quietly, he didn't make a big deal about it. They didn't put out no press releases as a result of it because they know that y'all was going to be getting liberal and getting out of y'all feelings and stuff like that. But Obama actually deported more illegals, and he was going after people way more than Trump did. That is a fact. Obama went after illegal immigrants much more than Trump did. That is a fact. Look it up. But people feel comfortable just literally getting a girl's backpack. They're going to get them a little baby backpack and they're going to walk right across the border. And you know why? Because they know that you're not going to do nothing as a result of it.
Show up at the border.
Look
Data
at that.
from the city of El Paso shows CBP migrant encounters are the highest they've been since May. Texas Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland is a former Border Patrol officer and says this is not a good sign.
At the ports of entry, you have Office of Field Operations officers, and they're there to make sure legitimate trade and travel passes to and from the United States. So we're taking those people from those ports of entry to help Border Patrol because there's simply not enough Border Patrol agents.
Truckers who use the Bridge of the Americas will instead need to go through other crossing points in New Mexico and Texas. Back in April, officials suspended all commercial operations for 3 days at the Bridge of the Americas for the same reason. The head of a truckers association in Juarez, Mexico, then told Border Report the detours and long lines could cost the industry $10 million a day.
Wait. You're telling me that not only are people walking into the country illegally all the way to the point to where there is nothing and nobody stopping them, and they're pulling resources in order to make sure that they process the people, and they're stopping cargo from coming into and going out of the United States, because that's literally a crisis. Right? You don't even have enough agents to be able to solve for and stop the trafficking that's going back and forth, the human trafficking, the drug trafficking, but they're pulling agents in order to be able to process people coming back and forth as far as illegal immigration, and it's costing to the tune of $10 million a day. $10 million a day.
In California last week, CBP closed a pedestrian border crossing between Tijuana and San Diego called Ped West, also to free up more officers to help with migrant processing, because it says the facilities in that area have been operating over capacity. Agents have been dropping off hundreds of migrants in San Diego in daily street releases. In a statement, writing, quote,
"Oh, look at this.
Street releases.
Look at all of the trash that's on the ground. I bet you guys don't even remember that earlier this year, and I forgot what the name of it was, but it was basically a bill that allowed for, or it expired at the time, and what it did was it basically tied the hands of Border Patrol agents, and that they no longer had control of being able to stop people from really coming into the country. I'm going to research that. I forgot what it was. I did a report on it earlier this year, but it basically tied the hands of Border Patrol agents, and it prevented them from even being able to do anything as far as processing illegals and them coming into the country. So not only did they already have a limited amount of resources, not only was we not funding the border, not only are taxpayers then paying for what's going on over in other countries, including Ukraine, not only are we giving incentives and breaks over to different people that don't deserve them, but we're also allowing for people to just walk into the country. Now, come on, y'all. Let's just really put this in perspective. Kamala Harris, the person that's at the bottom of the screen, was tasked with solving for the border crisis, along with Congress, right? Now, you telling me these people, every single year, they come to a disagreement where they have to do an extension because the United States of America is going to be running out of money, and they don't know how to come to an agreement with the budget. But they have no visibility, and they're not even trying to address the idea behind what's going on at the border. That they're just letting people in, that they're holding Americans and their tax dollars hostage in order to continue to let people come into the border illegally with no kind of resistance whatsoever. And so you just have to ask yourself, why? Is this the first thing that comes to my mind when I see stuff like this? How? Why? They're detaining people and then giving them a bus ride over into Arizona and just releasing them for the free and letting them do and go wherever it is that they want to go without any kind of supervision, any kind of repercussions. They're literally letting people come into the country and then doing nothing about it, not stopping them, not frisking them, not checking them, not trying to figure out what it is that they're doing. They're coming in and they're walking in with no kind of problems whatsoever, and they might even get a bus ride over to wherever it is that they want to go, Chicago, New York City. They know that they're going to get the money over there. Why? How is this possible? How? How do you have your legislators literally turning a blind eye to people just walking into the country with no kind of repercussions whatsoever? And this is normal. Inflation, sky high. Homelessness, sky high. United States debt, $33 trillion. Taxes, too high. Credit card debt, $1 trillion. Student loan debt, $7 trillion. Borders open. Borders open.
In a statement, writing, quote, CBP is working according to plan and as part of our standard processes to quickly decompress the areas along the southwest border and safely and efficiently screen and process migrants to place them in immigration enforcement proceedings consistent with our laws.
Let's move over for a minute. This is what they're dealing with. literally at the border, at the southern border. This is captured on camera. Do you see this? Do you see this? Listen. Do you see what is happening here in the United States of America? Do you see the flood of people that is coming into this country and what is happening? And they're cheering. They're on trains that they're not supposed to be on, that is then coming and flowing into the country, and they doing like this, yeah, and they coming into the country. This is not something that I'm making up. This is real footage.
Because you were just looking at a Mexican train carrying migrants toward the southern border of the U.S. It's getting a lot of attention tonight.
It comes as border agents report a record number of illegal crossings over the past few days. Natalie, back with a stunning scene in San Diego.
And the Biden administration and Border Patrol agents have resorted to releasing asylum seekers on California and Arizona streets because there's simply no more shelter space. And this is what played out over the weekend in San Diego.
You're free to go anywhere you want. You're free to. Okay, it's no problem if I go to Chicago. Where you want.
Hold on, wait. Let me back up. I want to play that for you again because I don't want you to be disillusioned about what is really going on. Because, see, you may be over there in Milwaukee. You may be in New York. You may be hanging out in Miami. You might be taking a vacation over to Tokyo, to Europe. You may be going over to Dubai. You might be hanging out in Seattle. This is the conversations that they're having with Border Patrol agents. Border Patrol agents are not stopping them. They are taking them and they're releasing them in Arizona and California. And this is the conversation that these illegal immigrants are feeling comfortable with having with the Border Patrol agents. Listen to it again. You're free to go and go on and do whatever you want to do. You're free. Conversation with a Border Patrol agent and illegal immigrants. You're free to go. You're free to go do whatever you want to do. You are free. Listen what the illegal immigrant then said to the Border Patrol agent.
Where you want. You're free to. Okay, it's no problem if I go to Chicago.
So wait a minute. Because they already, look, think about it. They're already communicating because they already know where to go. They already know to go to Chicago. Listen, you didn't even know that they was doing what they was doing in Chicago if you wasn't from Chicago until I started reporting it on the Millionaire Morning Show. You wouldn't even have been aware of what was going on over in New York until you tapped into the Millionaire Morning Show because you were so distracted with reparations and y'all was asking for it in California. Meanwhile, they dumping it off over into all of these cities. Listen, they already know. They already communicating with each other. Hey, the play is Chicago. O Block, listen, I get 2 years from now, they taking over O Block. You ain't got to worry about it. If you want to solve for the problem that's going on the south side of Chicago, all you got to do is make sure that you're doing this. All you got to do is, listen, they already know that the play is Chicago. Hey, fam, when you get over here, when you get over to the United States of America, you got that new iPhone 15. It just came out the other day. We got to pre-order it. I'm still talking on the iPhone 14, fam. But listen, when you get here, make sure that you tap into Chicago. O Block ain't got nothing on what it is that we got coming over there. O Block ain't got nothing on what it is that we got coming over there. We running up Chicago, we running up in New York, and we get to sleep in a police station. So we ain't worried about nobody coming up in there and telling us what to do. And they building houses, they're gonna give us health care, they feeding us, they take care of our kids, they're gonna make sure that they educate us. Bro, we gonna run it up over there in Chicago. Let's get over to Chicago, bro. You coming to Chicago? All right, I see you there. My homie over there in New York. So if Chicago don't work out, we can always shoot over to New York because we know Eric Adams and Brandon Johnson, them is just two black men. They ain't about nothing. It's no problem if I go to Chicago, right?
migrant asks a Border Patrol agent if he can leave, and the agent tells him yes. These migrants are given a notice to appear in front of an immigration judge. Many of them will wind up in Chicago. And the city estimates caring for migrants will cost city taxpayers $225 million by the end of the year. The Biden administration is considering forcing migrants who cross into the U.S. to remain in Texas while they wait out their asylum case.
What world are we living in? Listen, never in my life, in my 41 years on earth, have I ever seen anything. I thought I seen everything. I've seen some of the wildest things that I've ever seen in my life growing up in Detroit, on the west side of Detroit, between 8 Mile and 7 Mile, between Norfolk and Chippewa. I grew up and I thought I had seen everything. I've seen crackheads jumping out of my window when I was coming up. It's some stuff I'm not even gonna say what I've seen. I'm gonna just leave that there, because this is a morning show and we got a different demographic. This is not the nighttime show. I've seen some stuff in my lifetime. I have never seen this. I mean, I grew up at a time where Clinton was getting head in the White House and he said, "I did not have sex with that woman." I know, because he was getting head by her. I grew up at a time where I seen the buildings go down over at 9/11. I seen Obama in my lifetime advocate for and push through policy that had nothing to do with black people, but it had everything to do with the alphabet community. And they did it under the guise of Affordable Care Act. I've seen so much in my lifetime, but this is incredible. This is one of the most incredible things that I've ever seen in my entire life. I never thought that I'd live to see this day. You know how black people used to say, "I never thought I'd live to see the day that I see a black man become president." I never thought I'd live to see the day where America become this weak. I really didn't. I'm amazed. I am literally amazed by what it is that I'm seeing. It's crazy.
Okay, let's talk the border. In San Diego, the impact of the migrant crisis is growing increasingly visible there.
Remember when y'all used to say that San Diego was one of the most beautiful places in California that was largely untouched by the crime? You ain't got to worry about it. We coming to San Diego too.
Hundreds of migrants are being released onto the streets after illegally crossing the border, another sign of the nation's overwhelmed immigration system. Jorge Ventura has been following this story for us with a focus on rural border towns. He's now picking up the story in San Diego. Jorge, how is that city dealing with...
Shout out to Jorge. Shout out to Jorge over here about the report on what's going on over in San Diego.
All of this.
Hey, good morning, Marquis. So Border Patrol agents in that San Diego sector are completely overwhelmed by the massive surge of migrants crossing illegally into the U.S. What agents are telling me is that migrants are coming in from all over the world and that cartels in Tijuana are smuggling them, forcing Border Patrol holding facilities in San Diego to reach over capacity, forcing them to release migrants into the streets of communities by the hundreds. The street releases happening in San Diego have been happening now for 6 straight days, with more than 3,000 migrants being dropped off at 4 different transit centers across the city. Most of them are men who have been processed and now have future court dates. I spoke with local and county officials who say they are worried that migrants are not being properly vetted before being released into their communities.
Yeah, we're now watching a lot of cities, a lot of different states across the country.
So, considering all of that's going on, right? Considering everything that's going on, and let me read a few of the super chats before we continue over, because I told y'all that it was going to be a reality check as far as what we was talking about on this show today. Levite Apparel is in the building, says hello and blessings. Shout out to Levite Apparel. I appreciate you. Forsaken Archive says Texas says you can stay, you just can't stay here. And I feel bad for Texas, honestly, because they got to deal with this because they at the forefront of what's going on over there and they don't even have the resources to solve for it. Cliff Williams says they too busy focusing on the ABC people. It's all a distraction, in my personal opinion. New Era Music is in the building, says that's because Mexico is facing Ghana and Chicago. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, New Era Music. Thank you for holding me down. Let's go over to Chicago then, since you want to talk about Chicago. Why not? Let's talk about Chicago. Why not? Listen, the one thing that I promise you that I'm going to do is I'm going to keep putting my foot on the necks of the people that are doing the worst things for our community. You keep talking about LeBron James and who's supposed to be getting lashes and all of that, and you're not even really paying attention to the problem. You over here getting finessed. You getting finessed. What's good? What's good, Baltimore Banks? I appreciate you. Thank you for holding me down, my friend. Let's see what's happening over in Chicago, shall we?
This weekend, more migrants have moved into the Parthenon Guest House on South Halsted in Greektown. Courtney Sisk shares why this took some aldermen by surprise and what some longtime residents are saying.
About 190 single men seeking asylum are now calling this hostel home temporarily. However, 34th Ward Alderman Bill Conway says he wishes there was more coordination prior to move-in.
I'm committed to doing this in a safe and secure way.
For Alderman Bill Conway, that meant knowing exactly when he could expect migrants to move into the Parthenon. But to his surprise, he found out from community members and the media Friday morning that buses were already dropping them off.
I had asked for people to come from the 12th district, which is the police district where Greektown is located. That request was denied, but I still don't know where the people are coming from.
He says he reached out to the mayor's office to coordinate, but never heard back. 90 more moved in on Saturday. He's hoping for more collaboration on these efforts moving forward.
We in the community, we want to help.
I think it's great that our city is a place that is accepting of migrants and is helping them try and reach their dream, which is just to have a better life for their families.
Greektown resident Connor Friedman says it's great the space on South Halsted is used to help, but he hopes for a more permanent solution.
This is a great temporary solution, but obviously isn't sustainable.
As for other longtime Greektown neighbors,
I think the city has bigger problems, frankly. As someone who lives in the neighborhood, I'm more concerned about crime and stepping outside and getting carjacked or something.
Alderman Conway.
So the people in Chicago, remember in the previous video that I showed you guys, the play was already Chicago. From the very beginning, they said, listen, man, look, I know you dropping me off over here in Arizona. I know you dipping off on me over here in San Diego. The weather is good over here, but the play seems to be Chicago. The place seems to be Chicago. Look, they're going to house us. They're going to feed us. They're going to take care of us. Listen, if you get evicted out of your home, you got to go and get you a tent from Walmart and make sure that you go ahead and set up in a space where they're not going to remove it. If you get evicted from your home or you get kicked out of and foreclosed on your mortgage and you ain't got nowhere to go and get you a tent from over there at Walmart, Wally World, and go ahead and set up in the woods somewhere where the mosquitoes is going to tear you up. And you ain't getting no help. You ain't getting no assistance. You ain't getting no none of that. They got busloads of men coming into a city near you. Ladies, y'all said that y'all wanted to divest yourselves against black men. Here you go. Here you go. They got busloads of men, hundreds at a time, getting dropped off, getting housing, clothing, food, shelter, healthcare, schooling. And Eric Adams says that, listen, this is what we do over here in these streets. Busloads. Happening as though Chicago doesn't have already a $584 million budget deficit. That ballooned roughly $500 million for what was projected to be just an $83 million budget deficit when Lori Lightfoot was in office. Honestly, it just begs the question because I just can't see it. I can't see it. I do not understand why they driving this country into a hellhole. I'm trying to understand what the bigger play is, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what the bigger play is yet. I'm trying to figure it out. And if I figured out what the bigger play is, would I even be able to say it publicly online? What is the bigger play? Why are they doing this? Why are they allowing for people to just walk into the country? Why are they allowing for no resources to be allocated towards the border and budgeting and making sure that they built these walls and that they fight the drug trafficking and they don't prevent people from just coming in? Why are they allocating billions upon billions and tens of billions of dollars, and it's going to balloon up into hundreds of billions of dollars to house and put people into these places? I don't know what the play is. I'm trying to figure it out. I do not know what the play is. I don't know why they continue to allow for this to happen all across the board. And then on top of that, let me put a cherry on top of that cake of what's going on over in Illinois and Chicago. Let me put a cherry on that cake. You're not paying attention.
It is a big day for jails across the state today, as cash bail is now a thing of the past. The so-called Safety Act officially is in effect today. CBS 2's SL resides in the newsroom with more on what that means moving forward.
Illinois now the first state to make this change. Now, instead of cash bail, judges will be looking at the nature of crimes. The suspect.
Remember when I told y'all and I reported on this in the beginning of the year and y'all overlooked it and y'all said it wasn't a big deal and we need to go ahead and continue to rock out with what Jay-Z and Beyonce and all of them was advocating for and what Meek Mill is, because Meek Mill got unjustly jailed and all of that, and they distracted y'all with that? Remember that? Because he didn't necessarily like his female black judge that was asking for an autograph or some crap like that. And y'all said, yeah, man, you know what? This looked like a good deal. Let's go ahead and protest, defund the police. Now they got the no cash system. The Safety Act is kicking in. The thing that I reported on earlier in the year that basically does away with no cash bail and all of the other stipulations that come along with it.
Suspect's background and whether or not the suspect is too dangerous to be released. The change not coming without much debate and controversy, though. The Safety Act was supposed to go into effect at the beginning of the year, but things put on hold after prosecutors and sheriffs in 64 counties filed lawsuits claiming the law was unconstitutional. Then in July, the Illinois Supreme Court overturning a Kankakee judge's call in a 5-2 ruling, bringing us to today, cash bail officially a thing of the past. This morning, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox joined by others in front of the Leeton Criminal Courthouse addressing the historic change.
This bill, this law, was worked on in conjunction with advocates, victims' rights advocates, domestic violence advocates, those who have been impacted by this system, who have seen people who've been able to pay their way out of jail and cause harm.
And at the forefront of the movement, every single time without fail. Every single time without fail. You got, if this is not a picture of what it is that we've really built in our society, I don't know. If you look at this picture right here, let's paint the picture for y'all real quickly. Black woman, 3 black men of all shades behind her, backing her up. Black woman aggressively pushing for, advocating for, and doing the thing that's not in the best interest of the people, with 3 black men, all different hues, all different colors, all different sizes, all different shapes. Some got bald heads, some got, a head full of hair. All of them are dressed up. All of them are backing and standing behind a black woman that is advocating for the thing that is the worst thing for you in your cities and in your country. If this is not a model, literally the face of what we're dealing with in the nation right now. Listen, I could not have planned this any better. This was not intentional. I did not know that I was going to stop the video at this particular point. I don't do this much research. This is literally the face of Chicago right now. This is the face of Chicago. This is the face of your cities and your state and your country.
This effort to detain those who pose a real threat to our public, rather than detain those who are simply poor, is the right thing to do.
Beginning today, those behind bars will be able to petition to the court to have their cases reviewed. Reporting in the newsroom, Masal Razai, CBS 2 News.
Let me go ahead and read some of the super chats and then we're going to move forward. It take a lot of energy and it take a lot out of me to even continue to do these stories day in and day out sometimes because, I have to mix it in. I got to mix in the positive with the negative, but we're going to go all the way in today. We're going to go all the way in today. It's very, very important that we address every single thing that is on the docket, and we go all the way in today because we cannot leave any stone unturned. This is going to be the uncomfortable conversation because you haven't not even realized who the hostages is yet. You haven't even figured out who the hostage. See, the name of this show is called Hostage. You're the hostage in your own country that you were born and raised in, that your ancestors built, that you participated in the growth of, that you go to work every day and do the things that's in the best interest of the people that's dependent on you. And you are a hostage in your own country through your own ignorance and subjecting yourself to people that are now in charge for determining what your fate is based off of the fact that you did not vote right, you did not do the thing that was in the best interest of your family, you did not hold down your household, and so this is what you get. You are a hostage in your own place of birth, your own country, your own cities. You now have to run. Think about that for a minute, y'all. You have to run away from the place that you were born and raised in because it's become the very place that you hate the most. You don't have no home. You don't have any country. You don't have anything that your kids can look forward to as far as the places. You can't pass Big Mama's house down no more because it's not safe for you to be there. You have no roots. You have no identity. You have no place where you can take your grandchildren and see where you were raised at because it will no longer exist. You are a hostage being held for ransom in your own place of birth. And for what? Impact says, our country is experiencing what we used to read about in the Revelation. We have put our money where our mouth is to make change. Thank you, my friend, for the fireball and continuing to hold me down. Marcus says, imagine how many murderers, grapers, pedos, dealers, wanted by these other countries, etc., came into the U.S. If I was wanted, I'd come for show, for show. That's the play. And make sure you come to Chicago, too. Hey, come over here to Chicago, y'all. We here. Double R is in the building, says, I bet 50% of them are on an assignment provided by some government officials. We don't know. We don't know who coming in here. Shout out to you, my friend. Forsaken Archive says, passport girls are up one. Yeah, you ain't even got to go out of the country now. You can go and get you a Jorge. Marcus X says, the play to become legal voters lost black vote. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for holding me down. Young and Reckless is in the building, says, reason the Dems are letting them in because many are waking up becoming conservative. Many aren't having kids, so they need to replace the population. Interesting. Black Beauty is in the building, says, well, rather a servant class of mestizos than complaining Africans still living off of the system. They'll use crime wave as an excuse to penalize. Interesting. Lucid Experience says, what the big play is, I will reference the great Joe Clark and lean on me. They're trying to make black people the permanent underclass. I don't think it has anything to do with black people specifically. Serious Black Thought says, the goal is to make it so bad that we beg the government to fix it, might lead to a civil war, then they will take everything from us, a new world order. Interesting. Marcus X says, Democratic Party equals systematic oppression for black people. Thank you, my friend, for holding me down. I am Will Shepherd is in the building. Shout out to Will Shepherd. Says, you're getting into dangerous territory. Exposing the agenda can lead to a bad time. It's ironic that those who preach tolerance are the most intolerant among us. I agree with you. I very much contemplated whether or not this is the live stream that I wanted to go to, but it's so hard for me to avoid certain conversations, but I got to expose it for what it really is. Don't worry. We'll get back to the PC, more family friendly, the thing that they want us to do. I'll get back in line. Sorry, I apologize. I apologize, boss. Don't take my Rolex away from me. Let me take my stuff off. I'm going to tuck mine in. What movie is that from? I'm going to tuck mine in. Friday, that's for sure. Let me take my Rolex off. I don't want no problems. Let me put my Apple Watch back on. Sorry, boss. I don't want to upset the system. I don't want to upset the establishment. Sorry, boss. I'm not trying to cause no problems. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I am not trying to be a martyr. I am not interested in being a martyr for what it is that's going on in society today. Let me go back to talking about women. You know what I'm saying out here in these streets? Let me go back to talking about women. I'm not even going to talk about black women in particularly. I'm going to talk about women and men in general. It's all encompassing, mostly white women and mostly white women and white men. Let me go back and talk about the thing that actually makes y'all comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Anton ain't trying to be out here getting... I am not under duress. I do not want to hurt myself, and I do want to keep my channel monetized out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Let me go back and talk about the thing and use an example in order to illustrate what's going on out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back to the core of the issues, the real issues to keep the people distracted. You know what I'm saying?
Back in the day, you used to be able to go to the store with $1 and get 2 bags of chips, mad candy, and a honey bun. I just spent $2.59 for.
Hey, fam, hold on. Let's get to the core root of this issue right now. If y'all in a recession, honestly, if y'all are in a recession, don't worry, I got my Apple Watch on. If y'all are in a recession out here in these streets, what are you sitting here doing buying honey buns for? And Doritos? Why are you walking to go and buy honey buns and Doritos if you're so tired of being broke and you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Listen, I'm genuinely on your side. I want to support you. I believe in what it is that you're talking about. I do not want you out here falling off. I don't want y'all suffering. I know that it's inflation. I know that you feel like prices is out of control. What are you doing talking about honey buns costing $2.59?
2 honey buns and a bag of chips.
Yo, this is what $70 get you at Walmart. Yep, that's it.
What do you got? Look like some turkey meat, some seasonings. It's them seasonings. Them seasonings start to hit once you get a few of them. He got some salt in there. He got some canned beans or collard greens. Who is making collard greens out of the can? That's not right. And then he got some water down there. Yeah, ain't nothing like selling you water. Bottled water, that is. I can't see what else is in that basket, but he's saying that that's $70. I don't really know if that's actually accurate. It may be accurate, but welcome to 2023, my friend.
$70.
Is anybody else getting slaughtered at the grocery store lately? The cheese I buy used to be $7.99. You know how much it is now? $18. Tell me how that's right. And don't even get me started on trying to eat healthy. Have you priced lean beef lately? They don't even take cash for that. You literally have to bring them a gold brick and hand it to them. By the time I fill up the $5 a gallon of gas and get to the grocery store and make my order, I gotta sell my truck just to freaking pay for it. So I go out in the parking lot and start eating. I guess this is my home now, but at least I'm healthy.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question as we go through a lot of these different complaints, right? Honestly, because I see people complaining about honey buns, canned collard greens, seasonings, and all of that stuff. What's the price of fruit? Is fruit really expensive? Hey, Rita, how much is this banana over here? What's the price of a banana? A banana only costs like a quarter? Really? Gotta cost at least 50 cents, right? Somewhere in there, a quarter, 50 cents. So bananas, lettuce, not the lettuce that's already prepackaged. The lettuce that you got to go in and you grab the little plastic thing and then you wrap it up yourself and then you go and weigh it or whatever like that. You telling me that lettuce, bananas, apples, peaches, pineapples that you cut up yourself, kiwi, all of that stuff is expensive? Because everything I see in these people's baskets and the stuff that they got, Ain't none of that in there. I don't see no lettuce. I don't see no fruit. I don't see no nothing that's actually allowing for people. I see all prepackaged stuff with a lot of preservatives, honey buns, canned stuff. Why ain't nobody actually going to the section of the grocery store that is not costing a lot of money? Why is everybody sitting here having self-inflicted wounds? I'm just honest. Listen, I don't know. 69 cents for a pound of bananas, 89 cents a pound. That doesn't sound really expensive to me. Get a banana as a snack. Why you got to get fruit snacks specifically? Put a banana inside of your lunch. Pack your lunch. I don't know, man.
Hey y'all, so I know I haven't been on here in a while, but I had to take a trip to Walmart, right? And I know everybody's been talking about inflation or whatever, but how did I not realize lunch meat? Y'all, lunch meat? Look at this fuckery. $9? $9 for some meat? Y'all. No.
Look like you better become a vegetarian then, boo. And listen, she trying to get the Oscar. See, she don't want to show you what that great value meat is. Beggars can't be choosy. She don't listen. She went over to the Oscar Mayer and the Jimmy Dean. You know that Oscar Mayer and Jimmy Dean cost? That's like going and looking at the Sargento cheese. You know the Sargento cheese costs a significant more. Listen, and I do understand. Listen, groceries is more, but you can't eat like you in Rome if you over here living like the peasants. If you struggling, why are you over there looking at the Oscar Mayer when you supposed to be going over there and looking at the Jimmy Dean's, the Sargento cheese? Yeah, I know what the Sargento cheese is. They got it by the slices, like 8 of them in there. They cost an egregious amount of money. You don't want to go over there and get the regular cheese. You don't want to get the cheese that just say American made on it. They want to get pre-sliced, pre-cooked. You know, I see people going over in the grocery store and they want to get fruit that's all put together, all chopped up by the staff and stuff, and it costs a significant amount more. Man, listen, you got knives at home. You got a cutting board. Go and get you the actual fruit. Get you the bananas, get you the grapes, get you the peaches, get you the lettuce, and go and chop that stuff up. And then eat. You ain't gonna have no problem. But you want to get all of the pre-processed stuff. Okay, well then this is what you get.
We're gonna come over here. It's for $3.47. Great value. Anyways, I'm just taking y'all's time. Comment below what y'all meat prices are, because at Walmart it's ridiculous in Oklahoma.
We got a deli literally across the street from our place. We can walk right across the street, go over to the deli, and then, actually work with the people and get whatever it is that we want done up. We ain't got to go to no grocery stores. We ain't going to no Walmart. We ain't going over there to no Kroger. We got the deli. Is literally you can go over to the farm that's right down the street or whatever like that. See, we got different ways in which we go about doing stuff. The people in the old days, they didn't even used to shop in bulk. They didn't have big refrigerators or whatever. They used to buy what they wanted to eat for the day that they ate it. So when they would go out, and a lot of people are not familiar with this because you don't do your history, you don't really study history. They would go out and they would get what they would eat for that day. They would get their banana and then eat it on their way to work. Right? When they was on their way from the house, they would stop at the deli and they would get the little couple of things that they wanted to eat for that particular day. Now everybody has gotten used to overspending and over planning and overbuying, and most of the time y'all don't even eat leftovers. You buy all of this stuff and half of the stuff that you have go bad. I bet you if I went in some of y'all freezers, you got packaged stuff in there and you got vegetables that's frozen, you got meat that's frozen. It probably got frost on it and it's stuff that you ain't never even ate before. Most of y'all refrigerators is filled up with stuff that you don't even need inside of it. I guarantee that if we went through y'all stuff, that your stuff would be overcrowded and there would be too much in there that you're not even using. It's not even adding value into what you got going on. because people don't understand how to move a little bit differently. Eggs is cheap. Eggs are cheap. And you don't have to necessarily have cheese in your eggs. Don't get me to start. Listen, they think that I'm disconnected. I know what the heck is going on in these streets. I know what the prices are. I know what's happening. See, you have a preference. You don't necessarily have a something. That's not what you need. See, you working to eat instead of eating to live, and it's a difference. And that's why people think this stuff is so, yeah, it is higher than it usually is. That means it's time for us to go on a diet. We already the fattest country in the world anyway. It's time to lose some weight. Listen, a lot of us can stand to go on a water fast. That's just the truth. A lot of us can stand to go on. You want to save some money? Lose some weight. Time to lose some weight. If you want to save some money, let's just go on. Let's just lose some. Let's go on a fast. I'm with it. You with it? You want to save some money? Let's lose some weight.
See, that's why you can never get no help at Walmart. Everybody always in the back talking.
This is for the parents of older kids, like 8-year-olds plus, and I mean this in the sincerest way. Are you guys okay? Yes, this is another supermarket rant, because the supermarket has become my most despised place on earth. It surpasses play centres and the gyno, and that is absolutely saying something. I just dropped into Coles to grab a few things, and I'm trying this new thing where I'm spending intentionally, and I'm thinking about where every single...
She's trying this new thing where she's spending intentionally, meaning that most of these people have already conditioned themselves to move in a way in which they're not intentional. They just go out and they buy stuff and they don't operate based off of a budget. And so they're used to doing stuff a certain way, but now they're being intentional. See, getting in that cash crunch will force you to start being intentional. See, I still have the lessons that I've learned back when I had to move back into my mom's basement. We made the adjustment. I never got away from it. Make sure you get that budget video inside of the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat.
One of my dollar is going. And for me, I prefer to support the local grocer than to support the big food chains. Mexican tonight, so think like black beans and diced tomatoes and corn out of a tin, like things that are meant to not cost a lot of money. And I walked...
So look, Ariel Deuce says, look at this. I can't afford to waste food, brother. I got a family of 5. I feel you. And I also want to remind you that having a family of 5 was a decision. I decided to have a family of 3, me, wife, daughter. I decided that that's a fact though, right? I said, listen, I don't want to feed, because I don't know if I'm going to get rich yet. I think I'm going to get rich, but I'm going to be very intentional if I don't get rich to still make sure that my daughter don't have no student loans, right? And so I was very intentional, and I said, listen, I call my daughter the $1 million baby. That's a fact. I call my daughter the $1 million baby. You know why? Because after it's all said and done, I will have spent well over $1 million in the development of my daughter. Feeding, clothing, housing, college, extracurricular activities. She had me take her to Dick's Sporting Goods yesterday in order to get her some Nike Tech and some water bottles and stuff like that. Being able to have her travel across the world, go to different competitions, have training sessions over in California with a special team and special coaches. I call my daughter the $1 million baby. You know why? Because it's very expensive, and I'm intentional about the fact that I'm going to spend an egregious amount of money making sure that she has every single leg up in society in order to ensure that she's successful when she becomes an adult. She will not have student loans. She will not have the same problems. She's going to have all of the best coaches, all of the best tutoring. And so she is my investment. When y'all decide that y'all want to have multiple different kids, then that's what y'all decide to do. Y'all want to split resources. Y'all want to make sure that they eat leftovers. I have my daughter eating the best, training the best, doing the best, having the best massages. When she go out and train, she actually goes into special therapy for her legs in order to have her rejuvenated and her to sleep better and for her to have the best mattresses and all of that stuff. I call my daughter the $1 million baby because I'm going to put every single resource that I can into her in order to ensure that she has things that I never had access to as far as giving her a leg up on your kid when your kid decide to get older. That's a decision. I had a choice. I had a choice of what I wanted to do, and so I decided to invest in my child And it is the best investment that I've ever, of all of the things that I've ever invested in, it's the best investment that I've ever made in my entire life. It just is what it is. That's a self-inflicted wound, friends.
Out of there spending $82 and I came out of there with one meal. I have little babies. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And between the four of us, those two, my 3-year-old doesn't eat. She eats oxygen. So like to combine, they're probably the equivalent of one child and 2 adults. Like how are you feeding these pre-teens and teenagers who are like garbage disposals, who just eat everything? I know that's what I did when I was a kid. Like at this, I'm sitting in my car. That's how furious I am. And at this point, I just feel like they're just taking the piss.
It's absolutely ridiculous, but how about you?
That's about right. $2,100 a month for 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, depending on where you live. If you're over there in one of these major cities, that's what you're going to pay. If you want to pay $1,050, then you're going to have to go and get a roommate. It just is what it is. Go and get you a roommate. If you don't want to pay $2,100 a month, go and move into the neighborhood that you don't necessarily want to move into and pay a cheaper amount and get you a roommate and go over there.
You.
That's funny. This 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 900 square foot apartment with a loft with a balcony and a garage in North Orange County, Southern California, runs me $2,300 a month. $2,300.
So why are you in Orange County? Why are you in Orange County with a tie-dye shirt on? Why are you in Orange County living in somebody's backyard with a tie-dye? I understand that it's expensive. I understand that it's expensive. What I'm trying to understand is, why do these people continue to subject themselves to places that they shouldn't be in, that they don't want to be in, that they're going to complain about, but they still stay in and be a part of? You know they got jobs all over the country, right? And you can actually reduce the amount of money that you make because your living expenses won't be as high if you decide that you want to move over into a different place.
A month. Now you might be saying, well, Matt, why don't you just move somewhere cheaper? Something cheaper. Too bad I fucking can't. I've been grandfathered into this lease. When I moved in 2017, I paid $1,900 a month and it's gone up ever since then. But if I were to find any other apartment that was anywhere comparable to this or worse, I'd be paying about the same, if not significantly.
Actually, see, and this is the problem because they always conflate. You actually will be paying more if you lived in a different place in the same area. But you don't have to live in Orange County.
A lot more. This apartment right now, if somebody leased this apartment right now, they'd cost them like $3,200, something like
all of these people that I see complaining.
Okay, so this is a little message for the government.
See, I'm not disconnected. It's everybody else that's disconnected. This is the problem, is that y'all keep saying that I'm so outside of reality. I'm not. I'm very much aware of what's going on in reality. It's just that y'all got most of these people, not everybody, but a lot of these people have self-inflicted wounds. All of these people got self-inflicted wounds. And so it's hard for me to feel sorry about somebody that actually is destroying himself by putting himself in a bad position.
You probably care, but if you do, this is a message for you. I just went to fill up my car and it cost me $102. Okay, that's a sick joke. Considering my car used to be $80, like how did we get to this? Like 100?
So you got a $22 increase to fill up your car. And who told you to get an SUV? Manufacturers, whoever it is that you're buying this stuff from, gas people, whatever, they have to make the adjustment to whatever the consumer do. So if consumers at large start to live a different lifestyle, they adjust because the market adjusts to the consumer, not the other way around. The market adjusts to the consumer, not the other way around. So if you decide that you don't want to get a large SUV in order to be able to travel back and forth over to your stupid job, then they would have to start making vehicles that is cost effective for what it is that the majority of society is deciding that they want to drive in. But you know what everybody else saying? Well, I want to go and get a big SUV and then spend $102 in order to fill up my car. This is so dumb, man.
$102, you've just like cost me about 5 cups of coffee that I now won't buy because I had to put extra in my fucking car for fuel this week. I basically feel like I would really like to know what you guys all earn and what exactly you fucking do to earn that kind of money, because I can sit down and tell you what I do at work, and I work really, really fucking hard, but I've got to live week to week because the inflation right now is kicking me in the ass. I don't exactly know what you guys do because it never seems to be anything that you promise when you're fucking getting elected to be in the government. But anyway, that's besides the point of this video. You all basically get paid to break fucking promises, I think. But anyway, back to the point. Just have a bit of a questionnaire for you, if you could take the time to answer these couple of questions. What do you actually think the average income for the everyday Australian is? Let me tell you, you probably fucking quadruple what the rest of us make. But at the moment, the average cost of rent is well and truly over $600, right? That I'm telling you.
You know, I'm really starting to get annoyed with this cost of living shit. And this is another rant. And as I said, I don't usually do these often, but I feel like they're going to start becoming a weekly, if not a daily experience. I got an email today that said from Optus that my bill was going up $4 to mitigate the cost of living. I'm sorry, my phone bill is going up $4? How exactly are you impacted by the cost of living?
Because they have to pay workers more money in order to continue to install, maintain, and then service the services that you use in order to maintain phone services in whatever respective place that you in. And see, this is the thing. This is what these wild hair base heads don't understand, is that the cost is always going to get passed back to the consumer. When you advocating for higher wages, they have to then pass that cost over into whoever it is that's buying whatever product is being serviced. When the UAW, it's not even an if, when the UAW solidifies their contract, both here and in Canada, the cost is then going to be passed over into the consumer. That is going to be baked into the price of vehicles, which is going to continue to raise up the cost of living, because then it's going to be spread out into different industries. And then the UAW members are then going to come back to the bargaining table 4 or 5 years from now, and they're going to say, hey, we want more raises because we can't keep up with the cost of inflation. That's the truth. That is what's going to happen. Prices go up here, and then your wages are going to go up here, and then the prices are going to go up even more here, and then the people are going to want to even get more wages here because they have to pass the prices over to the consumers, and so the cost of living go higher all across the board, and then that's what happens. And so you're never going to catch up as long as you continue to think that a livable wage is based off of what the employer can give you, not understanding that the prices is then going to be passed over into consumers on everything that you do and you consume throughout society. Rent going to go up. Grocery store workers, they going to get higher wages. So then groceries is going to go up. Gas is going to go up because logistics and then transportation costs and then being able to mine it and then source new oil and all of this stuff. And then that's going to continue to go up, right? And then housing is going to go up. And then the cost to continue to build new housing is going to go up because the construction workers is going to want more money. And then the cost to deliver packages because UPS people are making more money, right? And then the USPS people are going to want more money because they're going to be looking at what's happening at UPS. And then their pensions are going to continue to go higher because of the legacy costs. And then the USPS also is operating at a deficit to the taxpayers' demise. And then we're going to get the post grandmaster, and he's going to want a new raise. And then Congress is going to want more money in order to continue to protect the United States of America, because they're going to want to go over there and control what's happening with semiconductor chips. And they're going to want to get into a war with China. Man, listen, bro. You're never going to get ahead as a regular person, and this is the thing that people need to understand. Because you don't understand how the system works, you're not intentional about where it is that you place your money, and you're not intentional about what you do in your early years. So then that then hurts you for the rest of your life as a result of it. And you're going to continue to get people like this that complain about their phone bill going up $4.
I'm having a day.
Oh, she looked like a crier. I think we got a crier, a level 3 crier on our hands, maybe level 4. Maybe a level 4 crier on our hands. White woman that starts off talking about she having a day, looking down on her phone, no makeup, sitting in her car, probably got fired from her job, looks like a level 4 crier. I'm telling you, I know a level 4 crier when I see one. This looks like a level 4. She got her keys around her neck. No nice outfits. She was already fed up when she woke up today. That's why she dressed like that. I'm telling you, a woman that then has her hair like this, all she needs is that little band that go like this to keep her hair from getting into her eyes. I'm telling you, I can spot a level 4 crier the moment that I see him, before they even start talking. This looks like a level 4 crier. I'm telling you. And the name of it is called I Can't Do It Anymore. She ready to give up. She ready to give up. This the type of woman that you can get it for $40. $40, you can get everything. $40, that's it. Level 4, level 4 crier. I can see it in her eyes.
Or I'm having a life. I don't know, man. I just don't know what to do anymore. I'm sitting outside work, crying my eyes out in my vehicle. Because I can't function anymore.
I should not be laughing. I should not be laughing at this. Y'all gotta stop sending me these TikToks and these videos, man. I should not be laughing at a grown white woman, white woman, sitting here complaining and crying in her privileged first world car about what is happening out here in society. Let me see what her complaint is before I start holding her accountable. I could spot a crier immediately. I could spot a crier immediately. She already had her tissue ready. I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let me hold myself accountable. Let's play it like this.
Financially, I don't understand anymore. I don't understand how I make $34 an hour and I can't function. I can't function. I can't pay my bills. I can't even literally keep gas in my car to get to work 3 days a week because I can't afford it. Like, I get paid and it goes to car.
This woman make $34 an hour and she complaining. She makes more than she makes more than the top United UAW member in the auto workforce. Not a skilled trades. She makes more than the top person because they make like $32, $33 an hour over there at the UAW, and they over there protesting for wage increases. She makes more probably as a whatever it is that she do as a secretary. She got her tattoo on her arm over there. She make more than the top UAW member on the floor working, putting together cars. And she's over there complaining about the fact that she ain't got no money left after she pay all of her bills.
A couple little bills. And then maybe $80 in food for the week. And I literally only buy groceries when my daughter's home now. On the weeks that she goes with her dad, which is...
Did she say she make $34 an hour or $44 an hour?
Monday. What I've started doing is I buy a loaf of rye bread and I work really hard to keep that one loaf of rye bread lasting me the whole week, and I eat peanut butter. So I'll eat peanut butter toast whenever I'm hungry. And it's been fine. It's been working just fine. I'm good with that. That's fine. But last week, I guess I was a little extra hungry.
Had some breakfast delivered today, DoorDash. Didn't necessarily eat the bread, so now we got props for this particular video. We got props. She's getting a loaf of rye bread. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Hungry a couple days, so I had toast in the morning and toast in the evening, which that's not in my budget. So I ran out of bread on like the Thursday or even the Friday. I don't know. Either way, at 47, I had to see if my mother could buy me a loaf of bread.
47. Look, every bit of 58. 47 going on 58. Must be a rough life for these white people. Y'all still looking at white people as a standard bearers of systematic oppression and why it is that black people ain't where it is that they supposed to be? Are y'all still Are y'all still referencing white people? Are y'all still referencing white people as to how it is that y'all need to make sure that y'all level up? Is Umar Johnson still selling y'all on the idea that snow bunnies, snow hares, ain't a hare like the bigger version of the bunny? That snow hares and snow zebras and elephants is out here holding y'all down from a systematic oppression perspective? Are y'all still referencing them as the litmus, as the basis by which y'all judge yourselves? Are y'all still looking at white people and white women?
So that I could eat for the weekend before my daughter got home. Because if there's any food in the house, I'm not fucking eating one bit of it. I'm saving everything I can.
That woman is not small. She is not starving. She is not starving. You think that she got a caloric deficit? Honestly, do you think that she had do you think that she's operating at a caloric deficit? What are you not doing? You don't want to answer my question? Why do you want? I'm asking you to participate on the Millionaire Morning Show right now. I'm asking you, do you think that this woman is starving and that she's at a lack for food and she's operating at a caloric deficit? That's what I'm asking you right now, ma'am. Do you think that she's short on food? Food, drink, sufficient calories that basically suffice for an adult's daily diet.
And for her. Because then she gets home and she's not surviving a fucking toast. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't understand why things are so hard right now. I apparently make too much money to receive any financial benefits or help of any kind. I don't.
She got an Apple Watch on. She didn't think I was going to spot it. Listen, before y'all make these videos, I need y'all to look poor. I want y'all to look desperate. You going to have to look like you just coming out of the woods giving that Gawk 3000 because you trying to get some money to be able to survive. Don't sit here and get inside of your car with leather seats and Apple Watch on looking like you just talking about you got to pay your mortgage and all of this other stuff. I want you to look like they looked in the hood. I want your hair to be spiky. I want your lips to be crusty. I want your makeup to be smeared and look like you've been wearing it for the last 3 days. I don't want you with Lululemon on. I want you with joggers. Not no Nike joggers. I don't want no name on your joggers. And I want some holes in it. I don't want you looking good. I don't want you looking healthy. I want you looking deranged. I want you to be talking like this inside of your phone. Out here looking like you. Come on, man.
Get GST. I don't get like the grocery benefit for single parents, even though I'm a single parent, but I apparently make too much money.
Look at all that leather.
Can't reach out to certain.
What do you think that the cow said? What did the cow say to the hide? Oh, it's called cowhide. My bad.
Resources or any resources because I make too much money.
I ain't never heard of nobody complaining because they making too much money.
You're gonna die when I tell you what I pay for a mortgage right now. $400 every 2 weeks. And I'm dying.
You make $34 an hour. You pay $800 a month for your mortgage. What are we? See, the more that people talk, the more that they start to expose themselves. You make $34 or $44 an hour. I think that she said 34, but it's a possibility it could have been 44. You make $44 an hour. You pay $800 a month for housing. Where's the disconnect here? Where's the disconnect here? What am I missing here?
To renew my mortgage for February. And I already know that my mortgage will be less, but my payments are going to be probably $400 more a month.
How do you renew your mortgage? I've never heard of that before. Who renews a mortgage? You mean your lease? Listen, maybe I'm just so much of a novice and a rookie at what is going on out here in society. I have never heard of somebody renewing their mortgage. How do you renew a mortgage? Is it possible to renew a mortgage? When did they start renewing mortgages? When did they do that at the finance company? I ain't never heard of that before. I done been in banking my entire life. I have never heard of renewing mortgages.
I don't know how to budget that in. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to sell stuff on Marketplace. I'm trying to find stuff for a yard sale. You know, I feel like I take one step forward and 8 steps back. Like, I get pushed back 8 steps. Not that I take one step back. I'm just being forced to go back.
Better start living in your car. The van life is a big thing. They got a lot of videos on YouTube on how you can get into van life. Get in that Walmart parking lot. Get that heat going. The biggest problem is you just got to make sure ain't nobody stealing nobody steal your house. Van life. In that Walmart parking lot, get you a good set of tires, some winter tires. Go ahead and take you a shower, get you a Planet Fitness membership, get you that shower. What they get Planet Fitness for? $10 a month, $12 a month. And they give you bagels on certain days of the month because they don't want you getting fit. Bagel, you can get as many Tootsie Rolls, bagels. They give you pizza some days of the month. You get your fast on, you get your fitness on, you get van life. You get it popping. Van life, Walmart, all of that. Come on, man. Let's get it together. Let's pop it.
Crawl space in my house right now literally has like 8 inches of water in it. And it has for months. And it's like filled with mold. And so all I've been doing for the last few days is going online trying to figure out how I could get a septic pump. And then if I can actually sell enough stuff to afford one, then I have to learn how to install it.
I tried to hold it in. I did. I promise. This chick had a full-blown meltdown right there on TikTok and posted it and hit upload on that mug. This chick hit upload on that TikTok, yo. Whoo! We have come a long way since you guys have handed over different diseases, including chicken pox, over into the Native Americans that your ancestors stole this land from. And I don't feel bad for them either. They got conquered. That's just what happens. It has been happening since the beginning of time. It's called all is fair in love and war. Y'all handed over them blankets, thinking that they thought that y'all was their friends. And you conquered them. And your ancestors created the environment for you to then thrive in. I don't really understand what the problem is. I don't understand what the problem is. Is it not all fair in love and war? I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be more compassionate. I'm supposed to be more connected with the people. I'm supposed to make sure that I acknowledge your pain and show a level of empathy. I don't have it in me. I'm sorry. Let me take off my $1,200 watch. I could have got the regular Apple Watch. It's not like I'll be climbing mountains and diving in open oceans and shit. I just got that Apple Watch because I could afford it. Why am I getting the iPhone 15 Pros? I don't know, because me, my wife, and my daughter decided that we like iPhone 15 Pros. Listen, this is the greatest country on earth. This is the only country where you can get conquered and then take over the conqueror. This is the only country on earth where we can get conquered and take over the conquerors. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you something. I don't even think the date is right on this mug. It says Sunday. It ain't even Sunday the 27th. Feel like Sunday the 27th to me. Oh, it feel good to come from 8 Mile in Livernois in between 7 Mile and 8 Mile on Chippewa and Norfolk, being raised in a household that only had 2 bedrooms and it was like 8 of us. Feels good to come up off that government cheese and you ain't got to worry about living in the same conditions as them. But I got a way to solve it for her. She got an inherent superpower that's much different than any man has. She can fix that. It feel good to come from the hood and be able to look at your bank account and go, Jesus Christ, what has God blessed me with today? That's because I was a faithful saint. I was faithful. I read my Bible. I did what I was supposed to do. I didn't end up in jail, and I was able to level up. Level up. Feel good to come from the hood and still be able to be getting that bag when everybody else is complaining. I'm sorry. That's how you win. That's how you win. You know how you win? You win by winning. The wins is counted in the results column, not based off of how you feel, not based off of no moral victory. It's running it up and becoming successful. Listen, I don't live in duress. I'm never going to subject myself to it. I'm going to get it how I got to get it, and I'm going to make sure that I throw it in their faces because I'm not sitting here running in the Victim Olympics, and I'm not advocating for you to do so also. I know everybody is complaining. I know everybody else is going through something. I know it's always going to be some gnashing of the teeth, but it don't have to be us over here at the Bag Chasers. Link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to get up out the hood and you don't want no systematic oppression in your lifestyle and you want to be able to stun on these hoes, then make sure you join the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as Yo, nobody was feeling sorry for me when I had to walk 2 miles over to 7 Mile in Roselawn, catch the bus all the way to downtown Detroit to go to high school in the goddamn snow every single day. Nobody was sitting there talking about, Anton, I got your back. Nobody was feeling sorry for us. Now, I'm going to give you the game of what you need in order to level up, but you're not going to sit here and get sympathy from me. You live in the greatest country in the world. Listen, it's people walking over here every day and crossing that border talking about, can I get over to Chicago? And you sitting there talking about, I make $34 an hour, I pay $800 a month, and I don't know how to get my septic tank and my pump fixed. And I was over there opening up my legs and having children out of wedlock. Man, I don't feel sorry for you. You had everything that you needed in order to be successful. You played and you lost. That's your fault, man. I'm sorry, I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. I don't care how much y'all say eat the rich. I don't care how much you say disconnected. Disconnect me, Lord. Throw away the key. Don't ever let me go back to the hood. I don't want to be connected to the hood. I'm not trying to be connected to the hood. This is not a podcast or a live stream for the hood ones. This is a podcast for the people that understand where they came from and they saying, I ain't never going back to that, and I'm going to make the right decision going forward in order to make sure that I run it up because my daughter ain't going to it, my son ain't going to it, my people ain't going to it, and we going to continue to do the thing that's in our best interest. If you want to make sure that you're winning, make sure you tap in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit a like for the algorithm, and make sure you run it up, tap into the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat, and my Bag Chasers, I'm funding y'all businesses in November. That's my giveaway. You know what I'm saying? That's the giveaway. The giveaway is to help you build your own so that I don't want to give you a fish. I want to teach you how to fish. And I'm going to give you a leg up. I'm going to give you a fishing ride while we at it. And I'm going to show you where the river is where we over there fishing. That's my giveaway. I can't help everybody, but I'm going to help the people that rock out with me. Make sure you tap in. Let me read some of these super chats because she can't do it anymore. But every time I go to church, they say, won't he do it? Yes, he will. She said, I can't do it. I said, won't he do it? I was a faithful servant. Faithful servant. Held it down. I deserve this. I deserve this. Yes, I do. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're not going to get me to feel sorry about something that I didn't subject myself to. Let me read some of these super chats and then I'm going to get y'all up out of there. Spacer says, my guess is it's a ploy to get cheap labor. I don't disagree with that. I think that you might have a point there. Vern Brown is in the building. Vern says, stimulus checks coming back to bite us. Inflation. No, everybody wanted it. I never got a stimulus check. I never got a stimulus check. Ever. Never got one, but I ran it up anyway. Ronnie Robinson says, good afternoon, Mr. Anton. Hope all is well, man. Veggies and fruit are mad cheap. Better yet, go vegan like me and enjoy the better lifestyle while saving a ton of money. Shout out to you, my friend. Ronnie, I appreciate you. Vic said, one bunch of bananas at Walmart is $2.02 where I'm at in New York. People don't know how to shop and rather complain like children. Woe is me type of people. No more excuses. See, they don't like it if we don't make excuses because then it removes the barrier to actually become successful. Classy B says, my family of 4 and I have been on a plant-based diet for 5 years now. Eating vegan and vegetarian is very expensive. It's cheaper to eat unhealthy. Interesting. That is very, very interesting. I'd love to get your perspective on that, Classy. John Doe is in the building and says, these people are complaining about prepackaged processed food. The most frugal and healthy solution is to learn how to cook. Facts. And most people don't even know how to cook. They getting processed food and saying that I'm going to throw it in the microwave and that's how we going to cook it. I am Will Shepherd says, I'm doing very well in life and only get fresh produce and meats, avoiding the middle aisles. Me and my friends have noticed the increase and we are the top 5% earners. Must be hard for average people. Must be. But it's my time to shine and I'm not going to be apologetic about it. Jamal Park says, Anton, I work in local government and have the goal of making 6 figures by 30, currently 24. Is there realistically any way I can do that about working in local government, or should I switch to federal contracting? I think you should go to private and federal contracting. Local government is good for benefits. They have a lot of incentives. They forgive your student loans. They make sure that they contribute more into your 401k or your 403b, right? Local government is for safety. Success is for the private sector or in contracting or in consulting. So if it depends on what you want out of it. If you want to be successful with regard to running the numbers up, or if you want a level of stability, you're going to have to pick between the two, or you can do a combination of the two, depending on what part of local government that you're in. Thank you for that question. That is a really good question. I would go private because I'm always betting on myself. Shout out to my girl, A. Hogan. M is in the building. I appreciate you. Look how pretty that girl is. Hi, Anton. Do you recommend a newlywed couple, late 30s, financially well, buy their dream home to start a family, or buy a starter home and purchase the dream home later? We live in Phoenix. I always say don't necessarily live up to whatever your budget is, right? Do the thing. Okay, so listen. Y'all newlyweds, which means that y'all merging y'all finances, so y'all just now getting comfortable with each other, right? So I don't always suggest to jump into the thing that's going to cost you the most, right? I always say that you can outgrow or you can grow into your circumstances. So as I need more, then I build for more or I plan for more. But I would rather y'all spend the majority of y'all money actually building a nest egg and also investing together. The conversation shouldn't be, should we always get this dream home? Because then you got to live to work, right? The conversation should be, how can you guys build up a legacy together by figuring out how y'all can invest together, right? And a lot of times what people don't understand is that at these interest rates, you'll probably pay for the house 2 to 3 times over if you buy your dream home. So I'm not telling you that you shouldn't get your dream home. I'm telling you that, can you really afford the dream home based off of the idea that you're trying to live up to your wage? Or can you do it a different way and then invest and then put it off for 5 years to make sure that y'all still stay together, because you don't want to have to be dividing a dream home because somebody get the home and then they can't afford it, right? And so I think that the more prudent thing for you to do is to make the strategic decision to build up to what success should look like to you guys together. Get comfortable where it is that you guys are, and then make the adjustment going forward. And you can always continue to upgrade. You can always continue to upgrade, but very rarely do I ever see people downgrade. I do not see people sell their dream home and then get into something smaller. You can always upgrade. Do not worry about that right now. Make sure that y'all building together and then start to upgrade into it. Every year, I'll give you an example, small example. Every single year, or not every year, every 5 years I upgrade my wife. Started off with $300 ring, and then you don't even want to know what the cost of the ring is for the 20 year, because I'm 19 years in. So just continue to grow together. That's what being married is about. It's not going in so you can live the life that y'all want to live immediately. It's figuring out how y'all can grow together and then build together, and then your life will be that much more fulfilled because now you guys both have a vested interest in what y'all success looks like, right? Don't come together and then hurry up and do it. Y'all still young. Y'all literally got the rest of y'all life to live together, right? So make sure that you're growing together instead of spending the majority of your time trying to pay for the thing that you think that you want, but you're going to be in a completely different space when you become 40 and 50 and 60 years old. You're probably that's not even going to be your idea of what a dream home is anymore. So that's what my advice would be. Thank you for the question. That's a really good question. Shout out to A. Hogan. I appreciate you, baby girl, and congratulations on the newlywed and being financially well off. Spend all of your money on investing together. Figure out how y'all can come together as far as investing. Don't spend all of y'all money on buying a dream home. That's my advice. AJ Wise said, a week I'm paying $875 for 2 bedrooms, one bathroom duplex with a garage. My neighbor paying $1,300. I'm not moving no time soon, milking it. Continue to get that bag, my friend. Continue to get that bag, my friend. I appreciate you. Brock has hit me with the Pass the Love offering. Said, had a blast today as usual. Thank you, AD. See, y'all never know. Y'all never know what I'm going to say. Y'all think that I was going to come in here and I was going to pander to y'all. And I'm not pandering to y'all. I'm living my best life. I'm out here running it up. Shout out to Brock. I appreciate you. Also, Latrell Emma's in the building. Shout out to Latrell. Latrell says, let's take a look at your bank statements and see why you don't have any money. I'm not buying this, and I'm sure you can probably solve for it. I'm sure you can solve for it. It's probably a lot of self-inflicted wounds in there. My dog Brock says $34 an hour. Is she only working 9 hours a week? I'm lost. So am I, my friend. And where are you living in the country? Kahari says, yo, Anton laugh is super hilarious. Be having me cracking up every time, man. I'll be having a good time looking at these people and looking at these videos. The Carolina's own DJ K Smooth is in the building. If I'm going to sample your laugh and store it and use some joints and a beat I'm working on, how much for the sample, though? You got it, my friend. Hey, I want my publishing check. No, I'm just messing with you. Shout out to my dog, Carolina's own DJ K Smooth in the building. Trayvon Delon says, did 7 years in prison making 45 cents an hour. Now I'm making 6 figures a year through my business. I'll see you in DC gang bag chasers. Shout out to the bag chasers. I see y'all in DC in November. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon and let me know that y'all coming so I can get an idea how many people going to be there. Empire Foundation says, I'm a cash car dealer and most people don't have $3,000 cash. To buy a car, we will rather finance a similar vehicle for $8K with $1,000 down. That's crazy though. Ain't that crazy, honestly? That people will finance. Listen, if you want to sell something to somebody, finance it to them for $8,000 instead of forcing them to pay $3,000 in cash. That's some stuff. You can get somebody to Klarna something for the rest of their life. That's insane, bro. That is insane. Vern Brown is in the building, says they laugh when we stood in lines for free lunches, but now they crying about eating bread, syrup sandwiches, was bomb to us on our struggles. LOL. Facts. They laughed at us. They told us that we ain't have nothing. They told us that we was poor. And now we leveled up and we used that pain in order to propel us forward. And now they not laughing no more. You know why? You know why? I'm not going to get into that part because then y'all going to be acting like Anton is petty. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you do the thing that's in your own best interest. Go back and watch the live stream. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm on your way out the door. I love you. I appreciate you. I will be live streaming from Dallas tomorrow morning. I got to make sure that I make the adjustment for the time zone changes. But I will be live streaming for Dallas tomorrow morning. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I need you to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, though. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. You guys are the best and the greatest audience on earth. I'm going to holler at you later. Do the thing that's in your best interest. Tap into that Patreon. Shout out to T. Hanley. Peace.